John Bigos is the Managing Director of London Duck Tours Limited. This company used ducks, renovated World War II amphibious vehicles which can travel on land and water. What makes a duck tour better than a normal sightseeing tour?
What makes duck tours more interesting in terms of a tour as opposed to other tours is the ability to be able to go on the land and the river in one tour at the same time. That has a great benefit for all our clients. We also have a very small vessel which only takes 30 people, and that allows you to have a much more intimate relationship with your clients, which makes it a wonderful experience, which you don't get when you go on ordinary, predetermined, computerised tours.
Some people might say that taking tourists on such a busy river is a bit dangerous. Have you ever had any accidents?
In terms of accidents, we have had breakdowns that mean that we have to drop the anchor in the river, which is similar to having to use the brake on the land, and we've had to recover both our boat and our passengers. But that, fortunately, is quite a rare thing, but it adds to the fact that the tour is unique and no one else can do it. So it is an experience, which can include being recovered by another duck.
Do you ever have to rescue other people on the river?
When we are on the river, we are one of the most frequent users of this part of the river, and people will often fall or jump off Westminster Bridge, Lambeth Bridge, or indeed Vauxhall Bridge, and therefore we will be within the vicinity and often have to rescue people who have either fallen off accidentally or deliberately tried to commit suicide. So in terms of the river, it is a very serious river with a very fast flowing tide, and we treat it with the utmost respect.
Do you have many difficult customers?
We do have people who come in a very unprepared manner. For example, a lady in a mink coat who then gets wet, and she asks for the mink coat to be specifically cleaned, which would cost us a whole day's revenue, which the coat was very expensive. And the good news is that she was travelling abroad back to her homeland, and unfortunately we were unable to get it cleaned within the time that she asked, and in the circumstances it didn't cost us any money. So those sort of people can be difficult, as well as your normal customers who either don't think they've had the service they requested, or the tour was not up to a standard that they thought they would like, probably because they're afraid of water.
What are the most popular sites?
The most popular sites that get people really excited are Parliament Square, where we have the new Nelson Mandela statue, and that's the first statue that I'm aware of that has been erected whilst someone is still alive, and that's very exciting. Additionally, we have a number of heroes in our country, and Trafalgar Square with all the fountains, and Nelson's column really excite people. And finally, we obviously have MI6, which is where our vessels go into the water, and it is also where the film The Living Daylights and The World Is Not Enough started, where the boat came out of the second floor window, and as a duck we replicate that in our own style.
What are your personal favourite sites on the tour?
I personally like the Houses of Parliament, because I think it's a beautifully designed building and it's got some very, very interesting features. I also favour the statue of Emmeline Pankhurst, because that is quite interesting in so much as it was only in 1928 that women were given the vote, and yet it seems so many years ago. And then in terms of large sites, obviously things like Buckingham Palace and Horse Guards are very interesting as well because of the history.
What do you think is the best and worst thing about London for a tourist?
I think the best thing is the fantastic variety and depth of culture that we have in our capital city here. We have over 200 different cultures and nations who live here in the centre of London, and it makes for a fantastic cosmopolitan city with so much variety that it is impossible to get bored. it is a fabulous capital to come to as a tourist. In terms of the worst things for tourists in London, I don't think our capital has yet reached the standards of service that a lot of other cities have, where you don't get good quality food at a reasonable price on time quite often, and you have a lot of delays in terms of travel and congestion, and therefore there are many things that can still be done to improve the quality of service for a fantastic capital city.